As people who live in McPherson, we all know what it's like to be bored, especially in the summer. Our idea of fun is driving around with our friends at night with the music blaring. I know at least all of you can probably relate to that. So what happens during summer when we have dog days? Dog days are when you're just completely bored out of your mind with nothing to do because you've done everything you could during the summer. One way you can fill that time is to do crafts. One craft I like to do is to tie-dye shirts. The craft of tie-dyeing shirts for us can serve as a craft to pass the time, a stress reliever, and also a good way to use fabrics. So I've actually tie-dyed shirts a lot when I was younger. I had a best friend in 5th grade that we just kept tie-dyeing them till we had nothing to do. I also did a couple last year, and I did even socks for a competition I had. The steps to tie-dyeing a shirt include 1, preparing your materials, 2, infusing the dye into the shirt, and 3, locking the dye into place. So I'm going to begin through my demonstration. The first step to tie-dyeing a shirt is to prepare your materials. I have a trash bag laid out. You want to start somewhere where you're not going to make a mess. And I also have my dye bottles. You can use any colors you want, but I'm just going to be using these 3 today. You need rubber bands and also a t-shirt, and I'm just using a t-shirt I got from my brother. After you get you also want to start with a damp shirt. I'm just going to use a dry shirt just not to make a mess. You can run it under the faucet and then sprinkle out any of the extra water. Now that we've got our materials prepared, you want to move on to your next step, which is to infuse the dye into the shirt. So I'm going to be doing a spiral method, and you just want to start in the center of the shirt or wherever you want the spiral to be, and sort of just twist it until you get a pinwheel shape and bunch it together. So it's not going to be a perfect circle, but you can see sort of where the pinwheel shape is coming from. After that, you want to put rubber bands into place, and 3 should be enough. It's going to be not perfect, but it's not going to matter. So after you get your rubber bands into place, this is about what it should look like. So now we're going to continue on with the dye. Every section gets a color. So for example, this section right here will be blue, or all of it, and you kind of just want to go until the whole section gets infused. So once you get your dye into place, you want to move into the last step, which is to make sure your dye locks into the fabric. Once your shirt is dry, you're going to take off all of your rubber bands, and then you want to wash it and dry it by itself. So this is just with one color, and the dye is going to sort of fade away. Once you're done, you should get a shirt that looks like this. Obviously, it's not the same shirt with the exception of a few words, and has more colors, but no shirt will be the same. So those are the steps we went through to tie-dye a shirt. For a quick recap, the steps are to prepare your materials, infuse the dye into the shirt, and lock the dye into place. It can be a really simple hobby, and I hope you guys can think back to this when you guys have absolutely nothing to do in the summer. Thank you for listening.